Alright, so Season 3 of GBL has started, and there have been several changes that pervade the entire meta, including Catacomb. So the rankings have shifted quite a bit since these changes have gone through, and don't worry, we'll go through all of the individual changes and how they affect each mon that is important to the meta and is affected. But you can see here huge shifts. The big one here being Abomasnow. It's almost impossible to overstate how much this changed Abomasnow, and we'll get into that, of course. Umbreon and Weavile went down, Froslass went up, so on and so forth. There's a number of different changes, and of course we will get into those. So, here are a list of all the changes. This is directly from a Sylph page that I will, of course, link. And so we'll be going through all of these changes as they relate, the exception being Flash Cannon, that only applies to Hydreigon, and it's not even the recommended moveset, and since it's a debuffed or a nerfed move, we're just going to ignore that for this meta. So let's get into it. Infestation. There's several mons with Infestation, some of them mentioned here that are important to the Catacomb meta. First and foremost is Jumpluff, actually. Now, of course, the recommended moveset here is Bullet Seed, but Infestation is possible, and that recently got buffed from 11 to 12 energy. And as you can see, it picks up 7 wins, some of which are fairly important. We've got Caracal, Ivysaur, Sableye here. It does pick up this loss to Tangrowth, which I don't really understand, because it is a strict benefit. But I'm sure that's just a minor thing with PB Poke. So yeah, a little benefit to the Infestation moveset. It's still probably not as good as the Bullet Seed moveset, but definitely something to consider now. Ariados, another big change. Before it wasn't even really viable in the Catacomb Cup, but here it's beating some of the big guys like Alolan Graveler, Caracostas, Weavile, all sorts of stuff just from this 11 to 12 energy Infestation boost. As you can see, huge change in the histogram here. Lots of losses turned into wins. And no new losses, which is kind of what we expect. Now, Beedrill also got the change. Of course, Infestation not being the recommended moveset here either, but if you are running Infestation, it is significantly better now, picking up from the old Infestation line, wins against Graveler, Omastar, Mamoswine. Not a lot of huge meta wins, but overall a little better across the board. It does pick up 1 loss in the new season to Magcargo, but that's because Magcargo switched from Ember to Rock Throw in the new rankings. So, and that's what this asterisk indicates. Drapion, another one of those situations where it wins some and it loses some. Note that these losses are all from the new changes, 3 Powder Snow changes here, and then Honchkrow, which does change its moveset to have a more flying-based approach and picks up Brave Bird there. But the new Infestation Drapion, which is now the recommended moveset, picks up wins against the big meta players like Sudowoodo, Venusaur, Umbreon, and Jumpluff. Huge change here. Switching the moveset for there, but I think Ice Fang and Bite are still viable options. So if you're running up against a Drapion, it's really hard to tell what fast move it's going to be using, I think. Now, of course, Infestation affects a number of mons in this meta, but we're not going to go through all of them. Here they are, all of the mons that have access to Infestation, most of which use them, with the exceptions being mainly the Tangrowth and Tangela family. Alright, Hex. Hex actually has the same buff. Before and after the Season 3 changes, Infestation and Hex were the exact same move, with the difference being the typing from Bug to Ghost. And the only mon that has access to Hex is Froslass. Now, this is also one of those situations where it's not really the recommended moveset, but it's certainly a possibility, picking up wins against Venusaur, Gloom, and Ivysaur versus the old Hex moveset from Season 2. It does lose to Cloyster and Spiritomb, which I don't really understand, but again, I think that's just a minor issue. Now the big change, of course, in the meta is the ice type changes. So we've got Powder Snow, which now deals 5 damage instead of 4. We've got Blizzard, which is increased from 130 damage to 140. And Abomasnow gets Ice Weather Ball now, which is a nice move for it to have in this particular meta. So, Snowy Castform. Snowy Castform actually gets both Powder Snow and Blizzard boosts, and that picks up wins against Umbreon, mostly, but also some other spice picks like Cordeli, Glalie, Mamoswine, and so on. Across the board, pretty good change for it. That one big win making all the difference here for Snowy Castform. Abomasnow, though, is the huge change. I mean, look at these histograms. I mean, it's significantly better than it was before. In fact, it was ranked 101st before Season 3, and now it's ranked 4th. It is almost impossible to overstate how important this change was for Abomasnow. I mean, look at this line graph here. It's a completely different Mon and a completely better Mon. I mean, picking up 5 wins in the top 10 from what it usually had, with Sudowoodo, Venusaur, Vespiquen, Carracosta, Weavile. And even the lower ranked wins are still big, like Jumpluff and Ivysaur and so on. It's a big change for Abomasnow, and I think we'll be seeing a lot more of that. Now, of course, these are different movesets because it didn't have Weather Ball Ice before, so just important to note there. Another change in Spiritomb. I'm not sure, maybe the algorithm was changed for how Spiritomb plays, and then Alolan Persian was also a loss, which is interesting. No movesets were changed there. Now, with Froslass with Powder Snow, I think we're going to be seeing a little bit more of this too. Not nearly as dramatic a change. I mean, you can even see in the line graph here, very few situations in which it really helps. More so in the losses, because here it seems that it's grabbing the KOs for more charge moves. But picking up wins against Breloom, Drapion, which of course changes its move to Infestation, which is not as good against it, I think. And then some other space picks like Torterra, Cryogonal, Galarian, Lanoon. Sealeo. Also, slight changes. Just Powder Snow by itself just makes for some very slight changes to the meta. But picking up some wins against some ones that it would have lost to, like Cordeli, Tortuga, Superior, and so on. This also affects a number of other mons, but as you can see, the Powder Snow by itself isn't that much of an impact. So we might see small changes with Piloswine or Mamoswine or Beartake if you choose to use Powder Snow with that. But again, very minor changes if it's just Powder Snow. But if you make those changes compound with Weather Ball Ice or Blizzard, this can be some pretty solid changes to the meta. We also have some changes to flying type moves. Now the only ones that have access to Drill Peck and Brave Bird are Murkrow and Honchkrow respectively. So let's get into that. Murkrow. So Drill Peck is supposed to just strictly benefit Murkrow, which is interesting because it only picks up new losses in the Season 3 changes, which is unfortunate for Murkrow. But it's just going to lose to Abomasnow now. It's going to lose to Ariados. It's going to lose to Magcargo just because it switched to Rock Throw. And it's going to lose to Beautifly, with Ariados and Beautifly picking up the Infestation boost, and Abomasnow getting the Powder Snow and the Ice Weather Ball. So unfortunate that it got the boost, but it doesn't really help it in many situations. You can see small spikes, but more so where it just got hurt by other mons that got helped. Honchkrow, though, is a different story. Honchkrow is a very different mon, picking up that Brave Bird boost, 130 damage, that's just say there. With a -3 defense modifier, picking up wins against Weavile and Umbreon, as well as some other picks like Scolipede and Breloom, but losing again to Abomasnow and Magcargo because it switched moves, and Abomasnow because it actually got good in this meta. Focus Blast is a move. We're switching over to the moves that are nerfed now, so it's going to be a little bit harmful to these mons. So Weavile got a little hurt. You can see some spikes downward. But mostly it's losing to Abomasnow and Drapion, which got boosts themselves anyways. It does pick up a win against Shiftry. I'm not really sure why. I think that's an algorithmic thing, because it didn't change its moveset in this new update. But yeah. This also affects Excelgor and Jinx, but they're not the recommended movesets, and since they got before or after, so since they got nerfed, I'm not going to look into those. And also, they're not very meta Pokemon. Finally, Moonblast also got changed. So the biggest mon that this affects is Gloom, although not very much, because it's just a change in the debuff chance, which doesn't change a lot of 1v1 matchups. Now, this might compound more in 3v3 matchups, but it's a little harder to measure that. So we go from a 30% to a 10% debuff chance, but as you can see, very small situations in which that changes things. And actually, it just picks up a win against Murkrow because it stops using the fire move Ember in this meta and starts using Rock Throw. This also affects other members of the Gloom family like Vileplume and Oddish, which also get Moonblast, although it's not recommended for Oddish. So yeah, those are the Season 3 changes. I hope this helps clear up what the differences are in the Catacomb Cup, and you will be able to put all of this to use in a whole new weekend of Catacomb, since Sylph has extended this for yet another weekend into August. Alright, thanks for watching.